Everyone's been getting sick lately, including myself. As you can tell, my voice is not this raspy on the regular. No one's really talking about prepping your immune system before it happens. What about checking your levels in your body before it crashes? I just got my second Function Health test back and I was kind of shocked. It checks all the different biomarkers like vitamin D, E, zinc, your white blood cell count, and all the stuff that impacts your immune system. And it does a really good job of breaking down what's in range, what's not. Also gives you some food recommendations based on your results. So this is me telling you that this is your sign to stop guessing, go get tested, and actually learn and know what your body needs. To learn more, join using my link, functionhealth.com/lovely. All caps, no hyphen.
That sound is the leaky shower head that came with your place. The one that has you starting every morning with a low-pressure nightmare that's nearly your age. Stop settling for someone else's shower. Consider this your wake-up call to swap it for the relaxing feel of a Moen shower head and see how one easy change changes everything. Water designs our life. Who designs for water? Moen.
Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, Hyphenly. It is our no-fluff love letter with hot takes, heartfelt stories, and all the feels of living in between cultures. Come for the nuance, stay for the vibes. Link is in the show notes. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Lovely. It's Mehak. Happy Friday. So I was thinking about this the other day. One of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten was, Mehak, you have this quiet confidence about you. And I really, really love that because, yeah, I feel like I have a big personality and I can be loud when I want to be, but I'm not always in your face about it. For me, confidence has been in those smaller moments, like trusting my gut when something feels off, or saying yes to something that makes me a little nervous, and reminding myself that the only way to grow is to try the things you haven't tried or done yet, right? And I think that's how intuition grows too. It's like that little quiet voice in your head that feels like your best friend, the one that saved me from a lot of bad dates, a lot of bad decisions, and also bad haircuts. I'm bringing this up today because my guest that I have on, every time I hear her speak, I think she radiates and exudes confidence. So I want to talk to her about, how to be a confident woman, where it comes from, and how that directly ties into female intuition. That is so powerful. It's helped so many of us and avoided us being in really bad situations. And also having really good discernment. And I think that also all of it comes from being spiritually aligned, having strong faith. So on today's episode, we're going to discuss all that and more. And I'm joined by Yasmin Elhady. She is a lawyer turned matchmaker and a comedian, triple threat. And we're going to talk all things confidence, intuition, and moving through life with faith. Yasmin, welcome to Lovely. How are you?
I missed you. It's so nice to see your beautiful face again.
Oh my God, Queen, I missed you. Last time you were here was in February when we launched the podcast and you launched your show. I mean, I watched the show, Muslim Matchmaker, big success.
I just would say you're gorgeous. Hello. And I need to know, are you Muslim and are you single? I am both.
Well, it's so nice to meet you because we're matchmakers.
Did my mom send you?
How has life evolved since then?
Well, I was on The View. I've been on ABC News primetime. We were thankfully beloved by the critics. It's been nonstop podcasts. I was interviewed by Mehdi, amongst many other people I really respect. So it's been a very, very cool experience and largely positive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been watching you on Instagram and you've been booked and busy. For anyone new here that's listening, how do you introduce yourself these days? And what is your connection to immigrant identity?
Yeah, so I introduce myself as a mom, attorney, and comedian who happened to be a matchmaker. I'm good at matching. It's kind of what I started off as before I was a mom, before I was a lawyer, and before I was a comedian. I was a matchmaker. I mean, that's the truth. I've been trying to be okay with being dynamic out loud and in public. No one has ever said, oh, like you're too many things, or like no one is criticizing me, but they are all a little bit whiplashed by the number of things that I do.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine. It's like, how do you get the time to do it all? So you're still practicing law, correct?
Yeah. And I'm an immigrant, so I was born outside of the United States. I've been a lawyer for 15 years now. So being an immigrant is a very big part of my identity. And I believe that immigrants make everything better. I think that they are the engines of creativity in society. I think they're the engines of real social mobility. They keep the dream of a country alive as well, to understand the potential. They take the brunt of hatred in a place because they're considered to be foreigners or outsiders, but they're very much a part of every country that they enter, and I think very productive members of society. So it's a big part of my identity to be an immigrant, and I love immigrants, and I see the value in them every single day.
I know you're a mom. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 little boys.
Oh my God. Do they make you like run around all the time? Like, are they high maintenance, low maintenance?
They're like non-stop. Like even my brother who has 2 girls, he's like, I don't understand how you do it. Like he was around them for about, I don't know, like I would say 3 weekends in the summer. And he was like, where's the off switch? I'm like, there is no off. And they're like up early in the morning and then they're not asleep until, sometimes 10 o'clock. I'm fighting with them. I'm like, why don't you get tired? Like, why are you not human? When do you grow? Where does it come from?
Where does this like desire to do everything and everything like all at once? What makes you continue to keep going or like not hit the pause button?
Well, I've definitely hit the pause button on certain parts of my career at different times. Right now, matchmaking is very much on pause because I do feel like people need a ton of coaching. Like we're entering into a state right now where the dating requires a lot of hand holding and a lot of reminders and a lot of like patience. And I simply don't have enough time and I can't repeat myself, over and over and over again to people. So I've definitely put that on pause. I don't work all the time, all the jobs. And I think if you do that all the time, you will burn out. And so what I do is I work in spurts. So even on comedy, like I haven't done a comedy show for 2 months. That's on purpose. I need to protect my summer with the boys. There's got to be protected time for the things that matter to you. And for me, my family matters to me. So I have very much protected time with them. And it also means, hey, like I have to time box all my time. I am very, very disciplined about my time. And I actually think that that's like a beautiful quality. Just in general, be a productive person and to feel confident about yourself that you can accomplish things. If you're just running around overwhelmed all the time and you've got big dreams, my big bit of advice to you is to just realize that you can't do it all at one time, but you can do it slowly and incrementally and by giving yourself grace and breaks that are very necessary.
Yeah, you can't be so hard on yourself if like one thing goes wrong when you're in the middle of doing like 3, 4 things. Like I'm not at your level whatsoever, but I know a little something about juggling a few things at one time with like 3, 4 different jobs and then having a social life and then trying to date. Yes, I'm still single.
Crazy.
But
Men are blind.
Yeah, blind, but I'm also looking for a unicorn.
I want to prop you up. It is your podcast, but I also want to tell you, Mehak, you're single because you choose to be.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
choosing.
Exactly.
You're choosing to be. Yes. And that's okay.
Exactly. There's so many things that I want to get into today, but like, when you think about like, okay, Yasmin is coming on the podcast, what are we going to talk about? And selfishly, I think over the course of the months that like, I've like spoken to you or I see like how you are in the public and stuff, I feel like you radiate like this dangerous level of confidence. And I'm very curious to ask, like, have you always been this confident or was it like built over time?
It's definitely built over time. And, I'm still insecure about a lot of things, as many people are, but I do believe that I am aging like a fine piece of cheese, is what we'll say. I'm getting stinkier as I get older, but I feel like that there's goodness in the rank odor that I'm emitting. There's like goodness in the bitterness, there's goodness in the experience and all the wrinkles. Like I like love the complication. And yeah, it's not going to smell good, but for people who are aware of good taste, they're going to know that
It's
this,
acquired taste.
yes, and that this is a delicious, expensive piece of cheese. Have you seen an
Yes.
expensive piece of cheese that is not a little stanky?
No, I haven't.
The answer is none, zero.
And I'm the queen of charcuterie board. So trust me, I know a good cheese. It's almost like you first get a whiff of it and you like put it away because you're like, I don't know, a little too strong. Right. And then you bring it again closer and you're like, okay. Like you get used to it. And then once you serve it and all the guests are like, wow, this is amazing. I would have never thought to like do it. So I get it. That's a good analogy.
And sometimes you need to nibble a little bit just to understand the complexity. And you're like, oh, there's like a woodsy note, or there's like a floral note, or there's something deep going on here. And then you kind of acquire a different palate. And you realize, oh, this is refinement. So I feel very much that I have had that relationship with myself as I have grown a little bit older and been like cut deeper. I feel like I like the person inside more. And if you're very lucky, you will get to face yourself many times and you will die many deaths. And then it's just you, the essence of who you are. And I think the most beautiful thing is when someone has pain or has grief or has some type of loss, and I would call it all forms of detachment, and they respond to it with softness. They respond to it with curiosity. Softness for yourself, curiosity for what it could mean for you and for other people, and the expansion that it creates. And I think that the one thing that really has helped my confidence is that when I am alone, I am proud of the person that I am.
And not many people can say that. Not many people can, look themselves in the mirror when it's really quiet and they're lonely. They always need to have these different things to escape, right? Whether that's a person, whether that's substances. Do you think this self confidence, self trust, and the ability to be able to sit in quiet and, and feel that way and hear yourself comes because you have such a strong faith and you're very spiritual? Like, what's the connection between that?
I do think spirituality helps. I would love to call myself a spiritual person. I'm working on it. I feel like I'm always working on it every day. And there are days that I feel kind of lost, and then I have to sit back and like speak to myself in a different way. And it's a really big battle to speak to yourself kindly, because the more that you speak to yourself in a voice that is loving and caring, the more that you embody that love to everyone around you. When you see the effect also of, hey, like I'm choosing that softness, and you see the effect of you embodying the love that you want to see in your life, you will also, it's infectious. You will also be a radiating light in every space that you enter. And then it attracts the right people into your life. And you have to believe that you're attracting the right people into your life. You have to believe that deeply. So I do feel like I was insecure about so many things because I love my mom to death, but like she would ride me about all sorts of things. Like she was like, oh, that schnoz on your face, that big old nose that came from your dad, that's not my fault. You would be so much cuter if you got a nose job. And I'm like, Mom, like, what? Like, why are you talking about my nose? Like I've now totally grown to embrace it.
Yeah. And it stays with you.
It does. It does. Especially like in my high school, high school time was really hard. And I would say even in college, I think like the more that you truly tell yourself good things, you hopefully will believe those good things. But I do think that spirituality matters. I think the voice inside matters. I also think that your most critical voice is usually a parent or adult or someone else that you respected and admired, like a sibling or an older person that you just really looked up to, that said something that was cutting. So you have to gain that power back from them. That is therapy. Mehak,
Totally.
that's journaling. That is reflection. That's time in nature. That is believing that you are part of something that's way bigger than yourself. You have to come out of yourself. That's service. Service helps with that. Giving back. And like I said, that becomes like a light that radiates to everyone in the room around you. And that's all, I think, a form of how you move forward in your confidence. And I think for me has helped me get better at just loving the person that I am and accepting who I am.
I definitely think growing up in South Asian culture and like having like a desi mom, like luckily my mom, she didn't comment on my appearance a lot. But when we go to parties, the term is like, oh, you look healthy or, oh, you look so skinny. Like, I don't know why everyone was so easily okay to comment on a woman's body. You would never hear someone say that about a guy. Confidence for me is self-trust, and a lack of self-trust is a trauma response. So you definitely have to like go to therapy and you have to like rebuild it. But it's hard that when the people that you're supposed to go to confide in are the ones that are actually bringing down that confidence. Everyone's been getting sick lately, including myself. As you can tell, my voice is not this raspy on the regular. No one's really talking about prepping your immune system before it happens. What about checking your levels in your body before it crashes? I just got my second Function Health test back and I was kind of shocked. It checks all the different biomarkers like vitamin D, E, zinc, your white blood cell count, and all the stuff that impacts your immune system. And it does a really good job of breaking down what's in range, what's not. Also gives you some food recommendations based on your results. So this is me telling you that this is your sign to stop guessing, go get tested, and actually learn and know what your body needs. To learn more, join using my link, functionhealth.com/lovely. All caps, no hyphen.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
There's confidence, obviously, and there's like quiet confidence, there's loud confidence. Do you see a lot of overconfidence in dating these days, like when you're matchmaking?
Yes, I do. I see men who are overconfident. I see women who are overconfident. And I think that there's a healthy part to confidence and the insecurities being addressed instead of kind of accepted. And then there's the unhealthy, which is that the ego is completely out of control. It thinks it deserves things that it does not simply possess. So it like covets the things without a real self-awareness about what you're bringing to the table. And so that's my big pet peeve with the matching. Like people will think that they're this or that or that. And so that they want someone and you're like, have you looked in the mirror? Like, come on, bro. Like, why do you think that you deserve someone, for example, like I've had people who have children and they just don't want anybody with children. And it's like, why? Like, why are you not self-aware enough to know that if a woman is going to judge you harshly that you have children, why are you judging her so harshly? Like, why are you performing the exact same thing that you complain about? And for me, it's a major turnoff. Or when a woman is singularly maybe focused on, I need a man that makes at least $350,000 a year. And it's like a number in her mind. And I'm like, you make $100,000 a year. Why does he have to make 3 times as much as you? Isn't it more important that you have a connection with him? And perhaps you will be blessed when you are grateful with what you have. Perhaps you will be blessed with even more. And perhaps you will inspire each other to achieve higher heights. So these are the kinds of things that when I hear, I'm like, man, this is like a major disconnect. And I think if you can ground yourself in that, like you are a creation, you are not a creator, I think it helps a lot with this overconfidence. Like everything that you build, it has to come from God. And that often means that God will take things away to remind you of your place, to remind you of your positionality. So I think that that's a fruitful way to, maybe address this, but I don't know. I think like it's hard. I think someone has to come to that realization on their own. I think if you talk to people who are, arrogant or who have mismatched expectations with what they're offering, it can be a very difficult conversation, and they can just simply, dismiss you. And in the end, like, I think that that's a loss for them.
I also think overconfidence, like sometimes I feel like is a form of avoidance. Like there's avoidant people who use certain things that they want or they're looking for just to kind of like avoid something. And then that kind of breeds entitlement, right?
Yes, it's so well said, Mehak. It's a proxy. It's a stand-in for, I really don't want to have connections, so I'm going to make up these things as false barriers. Absolutely.
Yeah, like you could have everything on paper or even like off paper, but it's like that one tiny thing that does not like have any relevance, but you're picking that to pick on it. I guess I'm curious, like I know I had you on the show last time. You're on right now. Like what's going on? Like are you dating? Like do you want to date? Like are we done? Like what's going on?
I believe in love. And I have definitely not written off that possibility, that future. I have been really working on myself, and I've been speaking to myself kind of in a different way. And that has helped me tremendously. I feel like it creates like an inner glow. And so I'm out here and I'm meeting people and I'm getting to know people. But I also have a really high standard because my thing is that, my life is not just mine. It belongs to these 2 little guys that I'm raising. So my prayers are very specific that whoever comes into my life sees them as like a huge bonus and a value add for them. And so if I have someone who even it just feels like they're not like really down to be a strong like cheerleader and bonus to my life, I'm kind of like, I don't necessarily need that. I would love that. I think that's something really beautiful. And I think it's like only goodness comes from following, I think, a path that encourages connection. But I've been hurt so much in my life and I understand what's at stake that I just won't let any old thing sort of change my direction. I feel so good. I feel so good. And I think like the more you feel good about yourself, the more goodness you'll invite into your life.
When you radiate, like you have a certain aura and you're putting out good energy, you're going to attract good energy back. I'm a big believer in that. I think the way you approach dating, you have standards, you're looking for the person that's going to complement your life, right? You need to have like really heavy discernment and intuition. I feel like you have really strong intuition. Do you have like a moment in your life where you're like, wow, like my intuition saved me from something?
I've had moments in my life where my intuition was trying to save me. I ignored her. I think there are times in your life where like you said, something will pop up. Someone will come, even a dream will come to you. Like for me, I had a dream. Instead of trusting my intuition, I believed someone else about what it could mean or what possibly it could be coming from. And the truth is that no one is going to live your life except yourself. No one's going to walk your shoes except you. No one's going to be able to also answer for your choices except yourself.
And sometimes you have to answer for those choices to
Yes,
not
yes.
make like it could be bigger next time, right? And sometimes I feel like Allah gives you small tests to like be like, is she gonna listen? And then it won't be like as bad for you. But then the next time it's like, okay, like you didn't learn your lesson. But wait, what was his dream?
I had a dream that like the partner that I was with somebody else, and I didn't believe it. It was like so clear. And then I asked like a scholar about it, and that scholar was like, ask the person, and I asked the person, they were like, no, of course not. What are you talking about? And it turned out like my dream was not only right, but like dead on right. Like it was a dead on message, like with the person, like the exact person. I didn't know who they were until later I would find out, see a picture and be like, oh, that's the person from my dream. Like that is the person. I will say that becoming a fine aged cheese helps you also recognize what is masquerading as cheese and what is real cheese.
Wow, that part.
What is Cheese Whiz? What is an American single? And what is a delicious aged Parmesan?
Totally. There's nothing but American singles out there.
A lot of American singles out here, my girl. Processed products. With a lot of additives and fillers.
So much processed food. Yeah.
Get yourself ready for a trip through McDonald land. There's thick shaped volcanoes. You'll even find a French fry thatch. Now just turn around and see if you won't find a hamburger patch as you're heading for.
Order the McDonaldland meal today and get the Mount McDonaldland shake with your very own character souvenir kit.
What is something that you've seen on the internet recently where you were like, everything in my body is telling me I need to like go off on them? Like, has there anything you've seen recently that we can talk about without getting too political or anything like that,
I mean, I can talk just in the relationship because my feed is so relationship oriented. There's obviously stuff that has to deal with everything that's happening in the world, Gaza in particular, obviously the genocide. And that's something I feel very strongly about. And I feel like, anybody who's not standing with the Palestinians is just standing on the wrong side of history. And they will understand when it might be too late. But on the relationship side, I think I get fed things that would make me stop and think or make me want to hurl my phone across the room. So one of the things that I recently saw was that I had a friend of mine who was on a podcast, and a very close friend of mine divorced. He got remarried to a really wonderful woman. I know his ex-wife, very wonderful, just like a good person. And he was on his podcast recently, and people were going nuts in the comments about how this person was compassionate, and they put it in quotations. They were like, oh, this compassionate Muslim doesn't know what they're talking about. This compassionate Muslim is talking things that are not from the Sunnah or like not following the Prophet. Of course, a man is supposed to have this kind of role and a woman is supposed to have this kind of role. And of course, and then they kept going. I mean, they kept going back. They were like, women that go to school, it's an abomination that they go to school. It's an abomination that they can become educated. And I was like, oh, is this keep going? And they kept going. They were like, yeah, like any woman with a career trying to be a man, you are not as smart as a man. You should stay at home. And I'm like, there's another way to do this that's protective.
I also feel that back in the day, it was men are the providers, they're bringing the bread home, and, women are working, taking care of the kids. And then obviously as we're evolving, times are changing, and that gap, where it used to be women are here, men are here in terms of what they're bringing home and how educated they are. And now it's going like this, right? And they can't handle it because they're like, How dare you do better than me in the system that we've set up? So what we're going to do is we're going to try to put you down, make you insecure. We're going to punish you. We're going to take the pleasures away of life from you, which is where this whole thing comes. Like, get in the kitchen and you don't need to like be educated and all this stuff. Like I see comments on my own TikTok, right? Like when I'm just like talking about my experiences and they see like a strong, confident woman just like speaking her mind and they're like, oh, like pushing 30 or pushing 40 and single. Okay, and
they want that reaction back. They want that reaction from you. It's all a form of negging. It's all a form of negging, just so you understand. All of that is to put you in your place because you're gorgeous, mashallah, because you're in tech, like a very male-dominated industry, because you're successful, because you're well-spoken, because you know how to present yourself, and they aren't. And which is exactly why they're not doers. The viewers will always criticize the doer.
No, for sure. And I don't engage with the comments. Like I'm like kind of voicing it to you, but sometimes I get bored.
Yeah, no, but it's still upsetting and frustrating because it's the world that we live in. I get them all the time of guys who say like, oh, like, who are you? And you don't even know how to wear hijab. And are you even a Muslim? And like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I'd love to see you in a hijab for one day. I'd love to see you go out in Alabama, go out in South Carolina, go to Mississippi, go to Georgia, where I went to college, and go out in hijab one day, my guy. You couldn't handle it. You could not handle the heat, both figuratively and literally. That's another thing about the confidence, just to like circle here. People who neg, they want to hit your confidence because they hate that you're confident. Someone who hates your confidence is never in your lane. They haven't even achieved the ability to enter your atmosphere. They don't get attention from you.
I agree.
They don't even qualify.
And confident people and happy people, they're never looking at the other person and thinking that their immediate thought is to put someone else down. That comes from insecurity. That comes from like anger.
Absolutely. And feeling like you're missing something that you see someone else has. Yeah, but anyways, that's all I want to say. Just remember, confident people will attract confident people. And if you start attracting insecure people, one of the biggest signs of maturity is seeing them for the insecure people that they are. That's all. Those are not your people.
I kind of want to turn it to you and say, like, is there anything that you're, looking at or experiencing in the dating space that you would want to talk about on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that people get the ick and then they get out real quick. Like, it's just people are not giving people a real chance. And I think that in the end, that's robbing themselves of a good chance at love. I think, like, if you see an old couple, it's so true. Like, you have to think, like, how many times did they have to, overlook something that bothered them or talk about something that was really difficult or address the love between them by growing the love between them and nourishing that. And a lot of that would not mean that you don't like the way that he eats. Like there was one of my friends, she had this whole thing about a guy, the way he ate bothered her with a fork, like that he held it like this instead of like this. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Girl, and this guy made a 6-figure salary. He had a graduate degree. He was kind. And she said that. She's like, he's the kindest guy I've ever met. I don't like the way he holds his fork.
And where is she now?
And she married him.
Oh, she married him. So that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
And I told her, if you're worried about the way he's holding his utensil, you don't respect this guy. And you're not going to treat him right.
That's so true. That's so freaking true. Yeah.
And guess what? She divorced him after a year.
Why did she not respect him? Did you ever find out?
I think she did not see him as an equal. I was listening to somebody on a podcast that was saying, like, because I watch a lot of relationship, TikToks and stuff. And they were saying that, like, there's 3 A's. I think it was Dr. Sadia, who's a renowned Muslim psychologist, and she's kind of like a dating coach. She was saying there's 3 things that women are looking for: attraction, admiration, and adoration, right? So she's very smart. I think that that's exactly right, because you could be attracted to somebody, but if you don't admire him, you're going to, at some point, your relationship will fizzle. That guy could adore you, adore the ground you walk on, but because you don't admire him, or because you're not actually attracted to him, you will see that as neediness and him sort of like simping, being a simp, and you won't respect him. You won't want to. So I think there is something to that. And I knew immediately when she said that, I was like, what a travesty for this guy.
That's so true.
That's where she's at. If that's where she's at, that means she do not admire or respect that guy. That's what that means. And she's going to put him through hell.
No, totally. I mean, like the way you hold your fork is just so bizarre that's why you're,
it gave her an ick, but it didn't stop her from marrying him. And to be honest, if that is giving you that big of an ick that you're talking to somebody about it, give that guy his due right and leave him alone.
Let that man go and let him find another person. But like there is truth to the 3 A's though, right? So you said attraction, admiration, and adoration. It's okay though if you yourself are saying, I haven't found all 3, but labeling that fork piece and kind of tying it to I don't admire this person because I'm getting the ick, that's the bizarre part. But I guess the message that we're putting out is that it's okay to want all 3. It's just, it has to be rational.
It has to be rational. You have to be based in reality. And it has to be, I think, something that, matters. But if you find yourself held up on something that is silly, one of the best ways to know if it's silly or not is to use a sounding board. And that could be a friend that you really respect. It could be a mental health professional. I always say these sounding boards are really important it's like a sanity check to figure out like if what you're saying is crazy or if what you're saying makes sense. Like we all need those people. And I think that that's kind of missing in the dating world. I don't actually think anyone is really talking to anybody as a way to get wisdom or advice. I think they're lighting each other up on WhatsApp groups and other Facebook groups and making fun of people. And that is a big breakdown in our trust, in the network of trust that we're supposed to be building, and the canopy of safety that we're supposed to be building with a person. I mean, this person came to me because they knew that what they were saying may be crazy. And I said, hey, that's crazy. That's super crazy, but you should let this guy go, because if you're there, you should let this guy go. And then, subhanAllah, after it was all said and done, she came to me, she's like, you were right. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to be right. This is not one of the situations I want to be right. This is a sad, sad day. And anywho, but yes, and she ended up remarrying somebody that I think she really, really admired and she saw as her intellectual equal. And that made all the difference. I think for her, that was actually the most important thing. And then everything flowed from there. She thinks she was attracted to him because of that. If you look at them objectively, like the first guy was a lot hotter than the second guy. But that attraction for her meant I see this guy as like refined, right? It's about that piece. And so that, you can't really test one form of attraction or one measuring, metric for what is attracted to people. I always say it's a matrix and it's always going to constantly change. So I'm happy for her. In the end, I'm really happy for her. But I think it's been sad for the gentleman that was left in the dust, eating his food like a caveman.
Oh my God, damn. Well, I hope he found someone.
I don't know what happened to him. I feel bad because my connection was to her, not to him, but I hope he did too.
I want to do a quick little rapid fire round before we let you go.
Let's do it.
Well, one decision that changed your life.
Having children.
Something that you used to second guess that you're now sure of.
If I'm too much or not. I'm not too much. I'm too much for the wrong person.
One sign you are out of alignment.
Oh, I start getting like gut issues, digestive problems, because your gut, your stomach is actually the emotional center of your body.
Totally. A current affirmation or dua for you these days?
Oh my God. I am now saying I am deserving of being spoiled, and I will spoil myself. I will spoil myself because I will treat myself the way that I know I deserve to be treated.
Okay, this one I haven't done before, but is there a question you want to leave that I should ask my next guest?
Ooh. I'd love for you to ask something like, what is the biggest failure that you painted as a failure that turned out to be a huge launching pad for you for growth?
Ooh, okay. I love that. Well, thank you so much. Always such a good time chatting with you. I learned so much every time we interact.
I love you, Mehak.
And I love you too. You're the best. And my mom loves you.
Tell your mom she did a great job with you. So obviously I'm going to adore her.
Oh.
But what I was going to say is that, it's going to be like the next time that you invite me on this podcast, you're going to be like with the person of your dreams.
Inshallah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Yes.
Let's manifest it.
Oh my God. I love it.
Let's make dua. Let's do it.
Yes. Inshallah. Okay. Thank you so much, Yasmin. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's conversation with Yasmin. I hope it left you feeling a little braver, a little more connected to your gut, and a lot more confident in who you are. Thank you for spending your Friday with me. I will see you next week on Lovely. Lovely is an Immigrantly media production. This episode was produced by Sadia Khan and Shay Yu, written by me, Mehak. Theme music, sound design, and editing by Lou Raskin. Other music is by Epidemic Sound. Tune in every Friday for more Lovely.